Good morning. I'm Mary Utes. I use she, her pronouns, and I'd like to welcome you to Bucksmont Unitarian Universalist Fellowship's multi-platform worship, where moved by love, we share lifelong journeys of growth, wonder, and healing, nurturing wholeness in society and spirit, creating a community of justice and compassion. I'd like to give a welcome to everyone joining us online and in person today, members, friends, and those who may be newcomers to our community this morning. As we begin our service, please take a moment to silence your cell phones. If you are new to Bucksmont and visiting us in person today, please stop by our visitor center in the front hallway near where you came in. There you can also make a name tag for yourself and find more information about Unitarian Universalism, Bucksmont Fellowship, and upcoming events. If you'd like a hymnal or a printed order of service, those are available near the entrance to the sanctuary. If you are visiting us online or prefer digital methods, please email our office administrator, Beverly, to sign up for our email newsletter and to get connected to our congregation. You may also follow us on Instagram and Facebook at Bucksmont UU. Each week in our service, we offer time for people to share a joy or sorrow from their lives by texting a phone number. That number is shared on the screen for everyone now and will be again later in the service. If you would like to see the order of service, details about upcoming services, and other ways to gather with our community, you can find that on the homepage of our website, Bucksmont. Our Star Wars themed auction will start at 5 o'clock on Saturday, May 4th. Check out the Star Wars display and find donation forms in the social hall today. Storage for donations begin in the library on March 31. See Friday's eVoice for more information. Our February split plate recipient, Bucksmont Meals on Wheels, will receive $1,130.48. Thank you for your generosity. Each month, your Board of Trustees continues to recognize people in our congregation in gratitude for what they have done for Bucksmont. These people have been recognized by the board at our March meeting. Greg Stern, who along with board member Howard Barkin, developed and successfully ran the AV support for our dual location combined Sunday service with Thomas Paine UU Fellowship. Melissa Egbertson, for identifying the need and then taking the lead for the purchasing and installation of fencing to prevent the geese from taking over the grounds, including leaving reminders all over that they've been there. This is especially important to enable us to continue to provide a safe environment for our tenant, the Central Bucks Montessori School. Rosemarie Monaco, for starting and continuing to run yoga classes at Bucksmont for a very long time. These are attended and appreciated by both Bucksmont people as well as some others from the outside community. Get ready to dance. Please join the Music Committee on Saturday, March 30th for an evening of music, food, and fun. We will be celebrating the music of our own fabulous in-house rock band, Creedence Creekwater. Okay, it says the wrong thing here, but we know it as Creedless Revival, along with special guest band Fools and Prophets. See the e-voice for more details. And now we have a special stewardship video in just a few. Hello, I'm Christina Sherman. Michael and I retired 10 years ago to Hatboro from Miami. Previous to that, we had lived in 6 different states while we were raising our children. In the past, our friends and activities centered around our children, our neighbors, and work associates. Volunteering was not consistent, but involved our children's schools and activities and local community programs. When we moved to Pennsylvania, I was looking for more opportunities to volunteer and belong to a group. Michael suggested Bucksmont. I had little experience with Bucksmont except at Christmas when visiting Michael's parents. They were early members of Bucksmont. We came to Bucksmont in 2013, and I quickly became involved in activities and committees. I found everyone very friendly and engaging and made very good friends. And as many of you know, by volunteering, you get back so much more in return. By being part of the decorating committee, I've had the pleasure of learning from talented gardeners. We enjoy creating floral arrangements for Bucksmont events and Sunday services. The auction committee, which I also have become a member of, is a group of dedicated members who put on a very impressive yearly fundraiser. I also enjoy the company of children, so on Sunday mornings you can find me in the RE program. I look forward to attending Sunday services. This is a time for me to reflect on the world and my place in it, and to listen to thought-provoking messages. I am thankful for a great community with accepting people who are generous with their time, their knowledge, and commitment to Bucksmont. These are a few reasons Michael and I contribute to Bucksmont. It is a legacy we are proud of. We contribute not only for now, but so that in the future others can enjoy what we have come to cherish, a loving, accepting, nurturing, non-judgmental environment. Whether you are a guest, friend, or member, we are glad you are part of our worship service today.
As we gather in our sanctuary, in our homes, or watch from mobile screens almost anywhere, we are all together. Those watching now on Sunday and those who may be watching months from now. We are joined together for worship across both space and time. This is a free, creedless religious congregation. In the discipline of truth and the spirit of universal kinship, we join together in a cooperative quest for religious and ethical values, seeking to apply these values to the development of character, enrichment of spirit, and service to all. You are welcome here, whoever you are, whomever you love, whatever the color of your skin or your country of origin, no matter your gender expression or gender identity. Whatever your age, however you define family, wherever you are at this time, and whatever your source of faith, you are welcome here.
This morning, as we do each time we gather, we kindle our Unitarian Universalist chalice. We do so today with words from Christine Robinson. We have this hour as people of faith, with joys and sorrows, gifts and needs. We light this beacon of hope, sign of our quest for truth and meaning, in celebration of the life we share together. Please light your chalice at home. Our common chalice is now lit.
Good morning. My name is Diane Green. I use she, her pronouns. And I would like you to please rise in body or spirit and join singing hymn 1020, Wo Ya Ya. We are going, heaven knows where we are going, but we know within we will get there. Heaven knows how we will get there, but we know we will. It will be hard, we know, and the road will be muddy and rough, but we'll get there. Heaven knows how we will get there, but we know we will. Oh yeah, yeah, oh yeah, yeah, oh yeah, yeah, oh yeah, yeah. We are going, heaven knows we are going, but we know we within. We will get there. Heaven knows how we will get there, but we know we will. Oh yeah, yeah, 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 yeah.
Good morning. It's time for all ages. Are you coming up? Oh, good. I'm Margaret Henley. I use she, her pronouns. And I'm going to read a book. And then we get to open the word of poems. Okay? All right. And this book is called How to Catch a Leprechaun. Does anybody know what a leprechaun is? No? We'll have to look for him in the book, okay? You do?
It's a sneaky man that always causes mischief.
Yes, that was really good. Okay. So the night is dark. The streets are quiet. St. Patrick's Day is near. I tap my hammer so you will know the leprechaun is here. I'll pull out all your laces, put glitter in your hair. And when you walk around, you'll see my gold coins everywhere. You'll never catch me in your trap. But yes, I'll make a scene. I'll turn the whole place upside down. Your toilet will be green. House number 1, I'm going in. Really? That's your trap? I'm in and out without a doubt. That one was a snap. What is that? Does anybody know what this is? Yeah? It's a mouse trap. Did it get him? No. We'll have to try again, right? And now I think it's getting worse. A shoebox on a stick? I'll dance a jig and still escape. We leprechauns are quick. Another house. I fixed your shoes. What did he do to the shoes? They really were quite smelly. I'll eat the nuts you left as bait and leave with a full belly. Now you're talking. Look at this. It's dandelion tea. But I'm too speedy for your trap. This tea is mine for free. What did he do? What did he do to that cookie? I think he took a bite out of the cookie and out of the cupcake. Oh my goodness, he is causing some mischief, isn't he? I know you want my pot of gold. That iron cage was clever, but I've been alive 200 years. You won't catch me ever. Ha, 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 ha. Now you're really getting fancy, but I'll escape with twinkle toes. It's a fancy pantsy dancy. It seems to me an engineer has helped us with this design. Too bad this little leprechaun is going to be just fine. So who got hurt? Did the leprechaun get hurt? No. The leprechaun got away. Your entire house is one big trap from ceiling to the floor. Nice try indeed, but soon enough I'll stroll right out the door. Look at all those robots. The leprechaun begone with 3,000 gave me quite a scare. But without a 4-leaf clover, I won't be caught in there. Yeah. Did you see the leprechaun? All righty. You'll never catch this leprechaun. Impossible. That's a fact. Unless one day a brilliant child designs the perfect trap. I don't know. But who will that child be? Better luck next year. Now, who would like to open the Wonder Box? Oh my goodness, Leota had her hand up, so. Yeah, come on, Freya and Leota. Let's open the Wonder Box. Do you know how that works, Leota? You're very clever. What is in there? necklaces now. I'm going to give you that one. And you can all come up. Here you go. And get what the leprechaun left. Here you go. You gonna take one? Here. Go ahead, you pick it. Did you pick it? Anybody else need a pot of gold from the leprechaun? No? Okay, okay. All right. So we'll all get up and go downstairs for our lesson.
I'm sorry? Okay. The offering in liberal religion is a vital part of our history of faith. As a covenanted community, people who freely choose to be here, our voluntary giving is symbolic of that freedom of choice. Each week at Bucksmont, we share our offering with a different cause or organization in the community. For the month of March, we are sharing with Hands Holding Hearts. Hands Holding Hearts is a nonprofit, community-based bereavement resource supporting children and families through grief. Their mission is to guide and support grieving families, educate about loss, and provide a support network for those they serve. Hands Holding Hearts educates the community by offering consultations on grief-related matters to businesses, schools, churches, and organizations by addressing the systemic impacts of loss. The clinicians of Hands Holding Hearts provide individualized grief counseling for families and individuals encountering death and end-of-life issues. They serve clients starting at 3 years old through older adults. Support groups are also offered. We ask that you participate in our morning offering in one of these ways. You can write out a check to Bucksmont and mail it into the fellowship. You may donate online now or at the end of our worship service, or you may place your donation into one of the baskets as they are passed. We will now receive the morning offering.
I'm looking over a four-leaf clover that I've overlooked before. One leaf is sunshine, the second is rain. Third is the roses that grow in the lane. No need explaining, the one remaining is somebody I adore. I'm looking over a four-leaf clover that I've overlooked before. sunshine, the second is rain. Third is the roses that grow in the lane. No need explaining, the one remaining is somebody I adore. I'm looking over a four-leaf clover that I've overlooked before.
Our community continues to grow and thrive due to generous donations of both time and money. For the many ways that you contribute and how it sustains this fellowship, we are truly grateful. This morning's reading is Miracle Thinking by Mark Nepo from the Book of Awakening. Mark Nepo starts with this quote from Albert Einstein. There are two ways to live your life. One is as though nothing is a miracle. The other is as though everything is a miracle. Mark then writes, there is no end to worry, because there is no end to what exists out of view beyond our very small eyes. So worry is a way to gamble with what might or might not happen. It reminds me of a friend who had a flat tire on a country road. After finding he had no jack, he began walking, hoping to find a nearby farmer who would help him. It was getting dark, and the crickets were getting louder. As he walked the overgrown road, he began to throw the dice of worry in his mind. What if the farmer's not home? What if he is and won't let me use his jack? What if he won't let me use his phone? What if he's frightened of me? I never did anything to him. Why won't he just let me use his phone? By the time he knocked on the farmer's door, my friend was so preoccupied with what could go wrong that when the friendly old man answered, my friend bellowed, "Well, you can keep your damn jack." Being human, we struggle constantly to stay with the miracle of what is, and not to fall constantly into the black hole of what is not. This is an ancient challenge. As the Sufi poet Ghalib said centuries ago, every particle of creation sings its own song of what is and what is not. Hearing what is can make you wise. Hearing what is not can drive you mad.
Good morning. So I chose the passage by Mark Nepo that Mary read because it's all too familiar and resonates deeply with me. I used to be a chronic worrier. I constantly imagined the what ifs, and those what ifs were almost always negative. I spent tons of energy and hours imagining possibilities that usually never came true. I would hold imaginary conversations in my head, developing my arguments to counteract the imagined arguments of the person I was expecting to argue with. When doing this, I would get anxious just as if I was talking to the person. My body would react as if I was actually in the situation I was imagining. And the kicker was that most of those conversations never actually happened in real life. Anxiety about work plagued me. If I had an upcoming meeting, no matter how big or small, I would get stressed and expect the worst to happen. I would worry that the meeting would go badly, that I wouldn't be able to answer the questions asked of me, and that I would make mistakes and look stupid. For 15 years, I had the same boss who I got along well with and who respected me and my work. We worked from home offices, and I had a phone meeting with him every week to check in. Every single week, I would worry about that phone call and had the sinking feeling that I was going to get fired. For 15 years. It was exhausting. Now today, I see this pattern of expecting the worst stretching all the way back to my childhood. My maiden name was Young, and I grew up with what my family called the young luck. It was our version of Murphy's Law. If things could go wrong for us, they would. If something bad happened, it was at least partially due to the fact that that's just the way things went for us Youngs. Bad luck was our family curse. Then one day in a therapy session, I was talking with my therapist about an upcoming meeting and all of the stress I was experiencing over it because I just knew somehow, some way, things were going to go sideways, even though reality had proven over and over again that this wasn't likely to happen. And she said something that seems kind of basic to me now, but was a major epiphany to me then. She said, what if, instead of imagining the worst, you allow yourself to think about the meeting going well and what would that look like and feel like? I sat in silence as I processed what she said and realized that for the first 40 years of my life, it almost never occurred to me when I was caught up in this anxiety that I could instead imagine the possibility of things going well, that I could tell myself a different story. Because that's what it was, a story that I learned from my mom and dad, that I internalized and told myself for years. It was a family myth that was repeated so often I had come to mistakenly believe it was fact. When I realized this, we began working to create a new story, a more empowering story for myself, and my thinking and my life began to change. Stories are powerful things. They help us make meaning of the world around us and the things that happen to us. They provide structure and direction as they make sense of the chaos around us and help us navigate our way through life. They create our reality, and as author and renowned performance psychologist Jim Lower says in his book, The Power of Story, our destiny follows our stories. Story is everywhere. From very early on, each of us is spinning and telling multiple stories about our lives. You have a story about your family, your job. Anything that consumes your energy can be a story, even if we don't always call it that. You have a story of you and your faith, the story of your marriage or romantic relationships, the story of you and alcohol, or you and food, or you and anger, or you and impossibly high expectations. The story of you, the friend, you, the son or daughter. But the most important story of all is the story you tell yourself about yourself. You might recognize the narrator of this story as your inner critic, the internal voice that chatters and comments, speculates, judges, compares, complains, likes and dislikes. This inner dialogue is different from our intuition and is basically the never-ending stream of thoughts that relates to who we are, our capabilities, what we should or shouldn't do, how we look, and how we are perceived by others. Many of us don't question this inner critic and unconsciously let the story it weaves steer our lives and how we interact with the world. The story may tell us things like we're stupid when we make mistakes, that anything we do will be a failure. It can talk us out of an experience because it convinces us we won't be good at what we want to do or that we might embarrass ourselves. Then we take these stories, internalize them, and they become ingrained habit. They become our truth and our identity. They can also become our greatest enemy, leading us to make life-limiting choices that hold us back and keep us stuck and stagnant. The negative stories can sabotage our successes and cause constant unnecessary conflict and stress in our lives. Negative self-talk about our future often leads to anxiety, while negative internal narratives about our past can lead to depression. The good news is that remarkable things can happen when we change the narrative going on inside our heads. There are numerous studies and statistics to back this up. For example, when University of Virginia professors experimented with telling students with academic challenges to change the narrative in their head from "I can't do this" to "I just need to learn the ropes," they found that this alone dramatically decreased dropout rates. And in a surprising look at Navy SEAL training, the difference between the small percentage of candidates who make it through the brutal training required to become a Navy SEAL and those who don't didn't come down to the size of their muscles or their overall physical fitness. It almost was entirely explained by the self-talk the candidates give themselves when going through the training. The soldiers who turned the extreme physical challenges into games in their head were the ones to push through and succeed. In his book, The Expectation Effect: How Your Mindset Can Change Your World, scientist David Robson focuses on the power our stories and our mind can have on our physical health. Some of what he proposes at first seem to me a little far-fetched, but he uses real-life, reputable studies and research to back up his claims. One of the studies he mentions is a study from Harvard University. Participants were hotel cleaners whose work is often physically intense, yet feels very different from the exercise you might perform at the gym. To change the cleaners' perceptions of their own fitness, the researchers explained that the amount of energy that was exerted by vacuuming the floor, changing the beds, or moving furniture easily amounted over the course of a week to the level of exercise recommended for good health. 1 month later, the researchers found that the cleaners' fitness had noticeably improved, with significant changes in their weight and blood pressure. Amazingly, the shift in their beliefs about their bodies and their expectations of their work had brought about real physiological benefits without them making any lifestyle changes. Another study he notes shows people with a more positive attitude towards aging are less likely to develop hearing loss, frailty, and illness, and even Alzheimer's disease as they get older than people who associate aging with senility and disability. Researcher Aaliyah Crum at Stanford University says that our minds aren't passive observers simply perceiving reality as it is. Our minds actually change reality. In other words, the reality we experience tomorrow is in part a product of the mindset we hold today. Robson frames it this way: unhealthy storytelling is characterized by a diet of faulty thinking and ultimately long-term negative consequences. This undetectable but sure progression is not unlike what happens to coronary arteries from a high-fat, high-cholesterol diet. In the body, the consequences of such a diet is the hardening of the arteries, among other things. In the mind, the consequence of bad storytelling is the hardening of our dreams, the narrowing of possibilities, and the calcification of perception. So how do we keep from telling ourselves negative stories or change the stories that are already part of us? Lower, based in his work with elite athletes and high-level business executives, proposes that we can write new stories for ourselves. The first step in the process is to identify and become crystal clear on your purpose. He proposes that purpose is the epicenter of everyone's life story and is one of the 3 foundations of good storytelling. Without purpose, no character in a book or a movie would do anything interesting, meaningful, memorable, or worthwhile. Without purpose, our life story has no meaning. It has no coherence, no direction, no forward momentum. But with purpose, people do amazing things: good, smart, productive, often heroic, and unprecedented things. Purpose is our ultimate mission in this life. It's the thing in our lives that we will fight for. It's the ground we will defend at any cost. It's what renews our spirit and what gets us to stop and smell the roses. It spells out the most overarching goals we want and need to achieve in our lifetime and the manner in which we want to achieve it. Once we know our purpose, says Lower, then everything else can fall into place. The second foundation of storytelling is truth. We need to determine if the story we are telling, both old and new, is true. Does it conform to known facts? Is it grounded in objective reality as fully as possible? Or is it true only if we're living in a dreamland? What myths is the story perpetuating that could potentially harm us in areas of our lives that really matter? The third foundation is action. With our purpose in mind, along with a confidence about what is really true, what actions will we now take to make things better so that our ultimate purpose and our day-to-day life are better aligned to each other? What habits do we need to eliminate? What new ones do we need to cultivate? Are our actions filled with hope? Hope that we will succeed? Hope that the changes we seek are realistically within our grasp? Do we believe to our core that in the end, our willingness to follow through with action will determine if we are successful in life? These three foundations of storytelling can serve as a checklist when we're writing our new story. Does it have a purpose? Is it grounded in reality? And does it lead to action that stimulates genuine hope? Lower says that unless we can answer these three questions affirmatively, our stories will fail. In his book, The Power of Story, Lower goes into further detail about how to rewrite our stories and the steps we can take to ensure our new stories become our reality. I recommend both his book and Robson's book, The Expectation Effect, if you're interested in further exploring the power stories have in our lives and how we can change them. You have a story right now, a story that is by definition the story of your life. I encourage you to ask yourself, who owns it? Who influences it? Is it a story given to you by your parents, by your peers, by society? And leaving here today, I hope you'll take with you the understanding that you don't have to stay mired down in stories that aren't your own, that don't serve you, or that hold you back. You can empower yourself with a new story that can literally change your life and by extension, change the lives of those around you. As humans, our stories are our superpower. Let's use it wisely. May it be so.
Please rise in body or spirit and join in singing hymn 324, Where My Free Spirit Onward Leads.
enter into a time of awareness within ourselves and connection beyond boundaries, connection to one another, and to that interdependent web of life of which we are but one small thread. Give me 1 second, sorry. As we breathe in, we are connected. As we breathe out, we are connected. Please join me in this prayer written by Allison Miller. May a spirit of love and creativity flow in us and among us and through us, so that we might become authors, one and all, of a today and a tomorrow, where our faith emboldens us to embrace changes that give rise to new life, to take risks that make visible in our world, that make love visible in our world, and to celebrate every fragment of wholeness and holiness that comes our way. As we breathe in, we are connected. As we breathe out, we are connected. By our thoughts, by our actions, by our hearts, and by our very breath. May it be so.
As part of our caring outreach to one another, we set aside a few moments to note both sorrows and joys in our lives. In these moments of peace and reflection, we turn our attention to one another. We hold each and all in our compassionate thoughts and the prayers of our hearts. This morning, we are lighting candles to mark the important moments in our lives. Each candle adds to the collective light of this community, a place that also holds the memories of those who have gone before and anticipates those who have yet to arrive. To share the joy or sorrow you would like held by our caring community, text the number that is now on the screen. Please include your name along with your sharing. It is the same number no matter how you join us today, and you can add it to your contacts for future weeks. I will read them aloud, and Beth will light a candle on your behalf. What is shared today will go out in our weekly caring notes for those who cannot be with us this morning. Please remember to include your first and last name with what you share. And now we will light a final candle for all the joys and sorrows that remain unspoken and deep within our hearts. With words spoken and candles lit, we honor our joys and our sorrows, those shared this morning and the many more that exist beyond words. Through our time together, our relationships are deepened and our community made whole.
Please rise in body or spirit and join in singing our closing hymn, 295, Sing Out Praises for the Journey.
Praises for the journey we all do.
We extinguish the chalice here, that it might glow gently in our hearts. May it light your path as you leave this place. May it guide your way until we are together again.
As our community departs from this service, may we remember all who came before. May we imagine all who will come after. May we honor all who are present here with us, here and now. In our time together, we create this community, one of promise, one of commitment. In our time together, may each of us become a sanctuary for all we meet on the journey. May we go together now and return again.